How is everybody doing? How's things? How's life? How's your verse? How has your week been? Hello. Hello to John, who I'm sure will be here on in the Twitch chat in but a moment. There we go. As if by magic. Hello. How you doing, man? Well, oh, hold on. Wait. I forgot something. The first thing I need to do is change that. The second thing I need to do is that. And then the third thing I need to do is probably... Oh, no, it's fine. Don't need to turn dead. Wonderful. Right, and then close that because you'll get notification sounds. Right, I'm totally ready for this. uh, you have man flu, so I'm in for a few days. Fair. Hope you get better. Hello, Elephant Tech X Gaming. How you doing? Hello, Jim. Hello, Ish, and hello, Simon. How you guys doing? Uh, I can't. You can borrow some of these quotes. I'm slow. Can you? Hmm. Right, I see. Okay, yeah. Yes, I am. I'm ready. I'm fine. Oh dear. No, I'm not fine. Um, yeah. I too have man flu. Clearly going around. Croatia, Australia, basically next door neighbors. Uh, how should you even? Very, very, very. Um, I was doing structure repair on the inside of the house over the weekend, and that brought with it a lot of pain. Um, More than I've had to deal with in a little while, which is difficult. Um, it's the first time I've needed my crutch that's always in the background. It's slightly off camera. Um, for the full day. Uh, that that will fall over later. It will make a loud sound, and you've been warned. Um, yeah. Uh, and I've been trying to make a doctor's appointment for 2 weeks for something very important to me, and my GP surgery has consistently misled or outright lied to my face. In theory, I have a routine telephone appointment tomorrow. In practice, I think I'm going to be waiting all day tomorrow, in horrifying anxiety, only for a call to not come. Or even if it does, they'll say, sorry, we need X procedural crap, before we can give you a basic prescription for a completely non-dangerous drug. So, yeah, I am. Great. That's that'd be nice, John. Ah. um, if I was a mega rich white person, I would not have done structural repair to my 1880s house myself. My 2 bedroom. Yeah. And thank you, Joe. Also, hello, Joe. Yeah. Well, I have 1 bedroom and one filming room studio, and I have 1 living room and an office. Um, yeah. Never underestimate the lengths that rich people might go to save money, like vouchers at McDonald's. Well, there was that. What was it? I think it made the rounds on Reddit years ago, whatever. But the whole like uh what you call it, like, come on brain, the lady who only flushes her toilet once a month or whatever because saving the water bill, and uh she only fills her car up with like $1 of gas at a time, even though she's a millionaire. Um, like when we say millionaire, it's like she has $1 million in net worth or whatever, most of which is tied up in her home. But like quite a lot of America is millionaires now because of like property values have skyrocketed, especially in cities. So yeah. Hello, Stanislav. Hello. Hello, Missy. Welcome. And hello, Essentialist. How you doing? Hey, to change gears for the moment. Have you seen Hardware Monitor's unboxed latest monitor review? The Xiaomi G Pro 27i, not ultra wide, but looks interesting. I haven't. I don't think that I'm personally subscribed to the Monitor Unbox channel, I think. Which is probably why I've not seen any of the videos. I should. Um, but yeah, what's the specs on that? I mean, I'm guessing the fact that it's 27 in the name means like it's a 27-inch, probably 4040p panel. Mini LED for lower price, right? I am. Mm, mm, mm. I'm not a super big fan of mini LED. It depends on how it's done. Um, like what the because mini LED monitors are all PWM control. Uh, that's how they do the local dimming and whatnot as well. But some are, let's say, better than others. The frequency can be quite low at time, depending on the monitor, and yeah, I just yeah. What did I repair? I assume you mean to the house. Lateral restraint straps installed, technically upside down, but bolted and then resined to the wall, and then packers and noggins to support the horizontally opposed joists. Because basically the whole thing is that that wall, which is the exterior wall, is falling away, or it's actually bowing in the middle a bit and falling away a little bit. Because all of the wooden structure in the house runs front to back. So there's nothing that connects the party wall and the exterior side, like the long wall of the house, together. So what I did was I installed lateral restraint ties in this side, so that's drilling through the brick and then installing 10mm stainless steel rods, like threaded rods, basically into the wood, and then resin the bar into the brick so that the bar is now holding into at least two. In fact, all of them were three joists, and into the brick so that as the wall tries to pull away, the wooden structure will hold it. And then we needed to secure the wooden structure to the party wall, which is the one basically behind the camera. Um, So those have basically steel straps that are bolted and resined to the wall and then lie across the joists with packers and noggins to secure them in between. So, yeah. But you can fit more mini LEDs in a panel. Um, uh, you can fit more mini LEDs in a panel if they have compared to a standard LCD backlight. Like a mini LED is just a backlight technology, at least at the moment, because the actual mini LEDs aren't that small. Like it depends on the panel and whatnot. But it basically just means a ton of little LEDs rather than OLED where it's an actual panel itself. So yes, you do generally get better. You do generally get better control and local dimming than a regular LED backlights for an LCD panel, but it's still an LCD panel, and you're still kind of hacking it away at a, I don't want to say inferior technology, but kind of. Um, so yeah. We did have an SDS to drill through the wall here. It was just standard hammer drills for inside. We did inside this weekend. The weekend before, we were up on a scaffolding tower to do the top floor outside. So we did that essentially 2 weekends ago, and then we did inside this weekend or last weekend. Um, my friend used to work for the Salvos, and this family used to come every day and get food. They drive a Mercedes. Yeah, fair. Um, yeah, but OLEDs have a use by date, so maybe if I had an obscene amount of moolah. Fair. Um, Especially with QD OLEDs, I really am not concerned about the use by date for W OLEDs. Yeah, but for QD OLEDs, I am a lot less bothered. In fact, I have a QD OLED that I'm looking at your chat messages on right now. um, so yeah. I've got some PC parts, but CPU and GPU are not in my to buy this year list. I'm certain about the CPU, which I want, but the GPU is a big question. Can you remind me what CPU and what sort of budget you're looking at? Can you guarantee them to work perfectly for a minimum of a decade? Then maybe, but for that money, I'd like a 15-year warranty. Well, to be honest, I couldn't necessarily guarantee that LCD would last for a decade. Like, to be fair, a lot do, but I've also had a couple fail, especially with regular use. So, eh? Yeah, try using a 2014 LCD now. Well, what's funny is, so I in 2012 I bought a BenQ GL 2450 HM. Don't ask why I remember that. I'm autistic. What do you want? Anyway, it's 1080p 60 Hz TN and it's shit. It's also the one that blew up. I did repair it. It does work now, but yeah, it's yeah. I would not want to use it now. Now, in my defense, I am actually using a 2014 monitor, AOC G2460 PQU. Don't ask. And that is working fine. It's not my primary display. In fact, it's running at 60 hertz. It is TN, and it's vertical, which is a bad idea, but it's here and it works, and I don't care. But yeah, it's not. 9800 X3D for sure. That's it. Yeah, what budget for the GPU? Just like just the PSU, which you can mitigate with the EPS. I'm using an LG 24 EA53 as a secondary. Believe I got it in 2008. Replaced the power brick after about 14 years. Fair enough. I mean, in the BenQ GL2450 HM's defense, it was the power supply, the internal power supply, mind you, that blew up. I took it apart, desoldered the blown up capacitor and inductor, resoldered a new inductor and capacitor, and it now works fine. But yeah, it's less ideal, especially if it is internal. Although the thing is that I like an internal power supply. I really don't like power bricks. I like them for the replaceability, but I don't like them because they're annoying, get in the way, and you gotta store them, like put them somewhere, and they always fall out. Like they're a lot harder to plug and they're a lot easier to unplug than you know, a kettle lead directly. So yeah. Starting from 600 to 800 max, so I'm not going for 1 grand or higher. Well, I guess that puts you in the like 70 to 80 class cards, I think. And so I guess you would just say anything in the upcoming generation, see what the performance is like, especially if you're, you know, happy to wait a bit. Obviously we're expecting the launches from minimum Nvidia, possibly AMD as well, at CES, give or take. So yeah. Yeah, but I'm not as equipped with knowledge or tools as you to fix the internal ones at the moment. Well, funny you should say that. I'm doing a video fixing Chris's keyboard, which is a similar sort of process to fixing, you know, internal monitors. Yeah, but also I appreciate that I am it's bash. And my soldering gear would normally be here, but it's currently upstairs because I'm repairing Chris' keyboard. Um, so yeah, I would recommend things, but yeah. Keyboards are easy, just don't have the tools, and good luck finding the exact caps and SMDs here. That's fair. I mean, for individual stuff, I would probably just buy on eBay. Like an individual capacitor or whatever, just to replace something. Um, I have bought stuff from eBay that's been fine. Um, if you are buying, like, repairing lots of things, buying from Mauser is a good shout. And I'm sure they'll ship to Croatia as well. Um, yeah, AliExpress, yeah. That would be fine too. But price sucks. True. Yeah. And he's special? Really? Would never have guessed. You're too kind. I'm waiting for CES 2025. We'll see what the companies come up with. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Especially this close. Like it's 2 weeks? 2 and a bit weeks away. Yeah. And if you get your hands on the Xiaomi monitor, I'm sure dozens of us would like your perspective. Wonderful. Well, yeah, I mean, I doubt it. I have no contact with Xiaomi, so, but if I do, you'll be the first subscriber YouTube notifies. I am still working on the expert tool, which actually I've got. This is an incorrectly sized case, if you can't tell. I do have a repeated one, a new one, sorry, but I've actually soldered everything up now. So, I'm yet to test it on a display, but this is the and the fancy photodiode, which in the final version will be glued rather than foam taped to the board. I think just because at some point the foam tape will likely lose its sticktivity, and I would prefer to keep that as is. This is a test header for a testing jig. It's an LED with a transistor. It does work, but it doesn't work the way I want, so I'm gonna swap the transistor for this op amp here. I don't know why I'm showing this. It's an 8-pin dip package. Who cares? VHB will last for tens of years. This isn't VHB. And I don't exactly care about shock mounting the photodiode to a rigid PCB, so I have super glue. I just know that I'm gonna not, like, this board will need lots of changes and stuff to it. And iterations, and I don't want to waste a £50 photodiode. But yeah. Hello, App. How you doing? The sensor itself, like that photodiode, is encased in a actual package itself. Like, I'm not touching the photodiode here. This is not fragile at all. I would consider putting something over it, but then it might affect the results more than anything. So yeah, I am making the gap around the sensor considerably smaller. Like I said, this is the wrong size and whatnot. Why don't people smother projects like that in hot glue anymore? Because it's nasty. I mean, to be fair, if something is expected to be like experiencing vibration, it's actually not a bad idea to put hot glue, especially on fragile board connectors and stuff, or connectors that might pull themselves apart or out. Generally for more production devices though, and this isn't. Yeah. I'm cool. Broke up with someone I was dating, but it made me incredibly productive for some reason. Okay, well, we're here to talk if you want it. But congratulations on the productivity. Yeah. Hope you're alright. Shall we shit it screen straight back to the government? For me, it's the opposite. I found someone and got more productive. Hey, whatever works for you, man. Can't you just become related to the king and then Xiaomi Meow might reach out to you because Prince Andrew befriended the CCP spy? That is several leaps of joke that I didn't know about. So well done. Wait, John, are you okay? You, you were quite positive last week. Is this recent? I just checking. I had to buy another motherboard to fix my issue. Still don't understand when I followed the BIOS update correctly. It would break the board. Can you offer any info to put your mind at ease? This one's still like wonderful. I have been, let's say, mostly busy dealing with life. So I haven't kept up on exactly. It was you were doing a BIOS update. Your board seemingly bricked itself, and it wouldn't boot again, right? Um, I mean, so there can be lots of reasons for like a BIOS update breaking it. It can be the BIOS update itself. It can be the what you call it depending on what BIOS version you were on versus what you're upgrading to, some BIOS versions are not directly compatible. So sometimes you need to do multiple BIOS updates sort of in a row to get the BIOS in a state where it's sort of stable. Ah, yeah, that's why. Um, so X470 boards had multiple BIOS revisions for the various, new chips that AMD released, and I am pretty sure that uh, there will have been a couple of BIOS versions in the BIOS page, like the downloads page, that says you must upgrade to, this version before anything else. And so if you just went from the original one several years ago to the newest one, you likely went from sort of you went to an incompatible or like a directly incompatible BIOS version, and needed to do some in the middle first, basically. Um, the I think as what's his name? Da-da-da-da-da. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? His name's hidden because streamer mode's on. The G-Man, the American G-Man who works in a school, said you'll want a chip flasher. Mm-hmm. I have one somewhere. I think it's back there somewhere. It's a little clip that you can attach to your chip and read and sometimes write, depending, direct to it. It also depends on what BIOS chip you have and whatnot. But yeah, like the BIOS chip is just a NAND or more likely NOR flash, like RAM chip. And so you can just treat it like where is it? Your BIOS chip is basically that there. All this is a block of memory that you write to. There is some extra steps, kind of thing, whatever, pull up resistors and shit. But generally speaking, this is just an empty block of flash memory, and that's what your BIOS chip is. In fact, this is actually a 16 megabit chip, which is about the same as what a BIOS chip is. So yeah, you can just write to them, and so you can repair it if you want. I wanted to get a B850, but I don't think that it'll be a long time GP for me. Maybe Intel show higher level cards in 2025, but I doubt that. I agree too. I doubt that Intel has much more up its sleeve based on at very least the first generation. And while this second Battle Mage card looks really pretty cool, I doubt that they have a B 890 sitting in the wings ready to take on the 4090 kind of thing, whatever. So yeah. Jim, why is that, Andy? As in, why are the BIOS versions incompatible? Is that the question? At least a lot of boards have BIOS flashback function. His doesn't. It's an MSI X470 Pro Max, so it's kind of mid-low. Oddball. Hello. Why is that Andy having to go multiple microcodes or something? So some BIOS versions are incompatible because of changes in the BIOS itself. What was it with the most recent? Come on, brain. Not Alder Lake, not Lunar Lake, Arrow Lake. I knew it would start with an A in the lake. With Arrow Lake, when I was doing my pre-launch review testing, I got multiple BIOS versions, multiple new BIOS versions, with some very concerning, like, read this carefully. You will brick your board if you don't do this right. Here's what to do. Text attached, basically all the time. So sometimes it's things like the BIOS like update features, or like essentially board manufacturer code will be incompatible. Sometimes, yeah, it is microcode. Sometimes it's especially with the AMD. Depending on the BIOS version, for a little while, in fact, no, it's still current. They disabled support for a number of chips because these BIOS chips are only, or at least at the time, were only 16 megabit, which is freaking tiny, even for a basic input-output system, or UEFI in our modern case. But the list of chips that they had to support just kept getting bigger and bigger, so they started disabling support for, I think it was the Bristol Ridge APUs and stuff like that. They tried to maintain as much compatibility as possible with the widest range as possible, so basically they picked the chips that the fewest people bought and went, well, don't upgrade the BIOS. But yeah. ASRock often has stepping stone BIOS revisions where you need to update to a certain in-between revision, not always just newest. Having to go from 1.1 to 1.33 to 1.5 to 1.7. So yeah, that's the what you call it? A lot of, especially AMD board manufacturers, do the same. I was wondering. Well, hello, Double Jim as well as Double John. Um, uh, uh, Simon, new BIOS chips are 256 meg nowadays. Yes, they are, but in X370, X470, and even some X570 board days, they weren't. They're 16, and that was a problem. So yeah, I'm sure there's some other reasons that I just don't know about as well. Why we have to have stepping stones, but yeah. The chip that I have on my board that I showed a second ago, I remembered it's 16 megabyte. It's actually 120 megabit. Divided by 8. Yeah, I mean it's more than Apollo 11 or whatever, isn't it? I mean, actually 256 megabit, maybe not. Well, mega actually. Yeah. Fine, Simon. Um, Oh yeah, I'm presuming the BIOS chip is basically the same with UEFI and function interaction. Only difference might be registering UEFI of signatures for secure boot and such. So the BIOS chip itself is a kind of a colloquial name for where we store the BIOS and/or UEFI. Um, the BIOS chip is literally just memory. As I said, it's literally just a memory chip that the CPU reads from. Now, some boards have uh, basically little microcontrollers on board that, when you press the BIOS flashback button, can do from that one specific port, can read the contents of the BIOS and what you call it? Replace the contents of the BIOS. That's why you can do it without a CPU, or why often you have to do it without a CPU, depending on the board. But yeah, when you press the power button, what that does, when you press the power button, that sends a signal to the power supply from the power supply enable pin to turn the main power supply on, because they use the 5-volt standby power to power the button. Anyway, so that then turns the CPU on, and the CPU then loads from that BIOS. Perseverance only has 256 megabytes of RAM. Damn, son. Jeez. That's not a lot. Even your phone USB power brick has more compute power than Apollo 11. Yeah, I mean, the microcontrollers that I use in these things are ridiculously powerful by comparison. It's also called a CMOS chip, and the battery keeps memory active saved. Well, yeah, so it's the CMOS battery. CMOS is kind of a manufacturing process technique. I can't remember what CMOS stands for. I used to know it once upon a time, but um, I think it's the type of silicon manufacturing or something. My brain's fried. Um, but yeah, where was I going with that? Like, you get CMOS sensors. Like, your camera sensor originally was called a CMOS sensor. Um, Now I want to know, what does CMOS stand for? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Yes. Thank you, Joe. I googled it too. Um, uh, yeah. Kind of the word for it's digital, transistor based. Um, so yeah. I can't what is the exact definition? Leave me less informed than before. Transistors are made up of silicon, but they are silicon that is doped differently. Doping is the process of changing the characteristics of a material like silicon, um, often in a very specific pattern. That the mask, like the doping mask, to infuse. With transistors in particular, you want essentially a channel with a gate. So it's either NPN, so N channel. That's PNP. No, I was right. NPN is N channel, and PNP is P and P, with N being the gate, and that's P channel. Um, Long story short, you basically have, you can think of it like a tube with like a flexible tube that's being squished down, and as you apply voltage to the pin, that opens it up and lets current flow. Depending on what type of, if it's a BJT or a MOSFET, will depend on if it's current controlled or voltage controlled. I've probably just confused you more, haven't I? Sorry. Are you seriously trying to explain semiconductors to the likes of us? I'm trying, okay? I'm so tired. Uh, um, Fair play, Joe. I would have believed you if I didn't Google it too. Got my 1550X earlier this week. Nice. Beast of CPU. Tried enabling PB on the BIOS, but the CPU throttled very hard at 30 seconds, even though temps were not an issue. Guessing there's a power delivery problem on B450M Prime or something. Ordered a B550 Tough, which has a recommended VRM. Nice. Yeah, so if you use hardware info, HW info, that will tell you if your CPU is throttling due to temperature or voltage slash power delivery requirements or limits. So yeah. Also, hello Luca. I got my 1550X from my partner too. Gonna open on from my partner too. Gonna open on Christmas. Gonna put 1550X in my X470 and the 3900X in the B350. Undervalued. Undervolted. I was gonna say. Oh, B450M. Jesus, that's a lot of corrections. Nice. Enjoy. And hello, Elephant Tech Hex Gaming. Brother couldn't wait and ordered a 9300 X3 and a 4070 Ti. Super. And the rest. And now having delivery issues. To be fair, he lives in an island in a butt nowhere. Fair enough. Am I excited for Christmas? Kinda. I'm too autistic to care about traditions, so I don't have the same enjoyment that others get out of Christmas from a, you know, a sentimental, traditional, religious perspective. So it's more something that happens around me that I have to, play my part in rather than something that I actively enjoy. You don't say. You're here and you ask questions about a latency tester. Yeah. I advise 4070 Super price performance, but he saved up for years, so probably uses it way more than I do these days. Fair enough. I mean, he's gonna enjoy it anyway. Yeah. We are ish. 3900X and 128 gig of RAM. Jesus, getting perfect for an Android server. It is. It is. I attempted to get a 12 bay hot swap chassis for it now, though. I don't need any more drives yet. I mean, I have 18.7 terabytes free out of 37, so I've got 20 terabytes a day. Is that right? Did I do the math wrong? No, yeah, about 20 terabytes of data. Yeah, so I've still got a decent amount of time, but I do want a half rack and to put my two servers in server adjacent cases. Looked okay in hardware monitor 64. There's also very audible noise. Coil one could be related. Yeah, so hardware monitor, I think gives you less information than hardware info generally does. I think, if I remember rightly. Hardware info, I guessed coil wine. Which I have opened and pay for actually. So yeah, so in my case, so I have an 11900K in my PC. So one of the sort of top options basically is the package or ring thermal throttling. Is the package or ring critical temperature, and is the package or ring power limit exceeded? So it will tell me all of that. It's only yes, no. Like, it'll only tell you if it has been exceeded, but it tells you that it's been exceeded. So you know if it's throttling because of temperature, or because of power limits. So yeah, I'm excited for the new year because a new person in my life. Wonderful. For Christmas, I'll probably just say to family that I'm still under the weather and spend it with my cat. Fair play. If you're good with that, nice. Enjoy. Just as a matter of business, I likely won't be. No, I will not be streaming next week. I am essentially traveling at the time that I'd be streaming. So, my apologies. But we will resume service as normal the following week. Which actually isn't that like close to New Year. Yeah, so the second. I don't want to be driving, and trying to talk to chat. I don't want to be that kind of twat. Yeah. I have a 12U StarTech rack. Nice. Thoroughly recommended. Even new, pretty affordable. Chassis from servercase.co.uk. Nice. I'll take a look whenever I end up getting around to it. I put up an IKEA tabletop on top of my 12U StarTech rack. Nice. And yeah, feel free to talk about that in at very least, Money Man. Joe, I hope you're alright. And I hope it goes alright. No. I'm actually writing a video about AI and the state and hype. It's interesting. I'm in, I guess, well, I need my PC to be on, which is a problem. Essentialist none and no. Just upgrade your car with AI. I had to upgrade my car to have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay because it's from 2013. The screen is about the same size as my phone screen, and yet has as many pixels as what has no pixels? Pac-Man. No, even that would have more pixels. Yeah, it's the Android Auto part that I care about, funnily enough. Even Snake has pixels. Yeah, it probably has. Do you know what? It has about the same number of pixels as Nokia 3310. And Shinoto, you mean worse Apple CarPlay? Alright, what is it? iPhone SE owner? Isn't that the, like, baby one? Um, Thanks, John. I mean, I, what you call it? You don't tend to see many around Christmas. Although I do, move to the side so that they can filter, easy, especially when there's traffic. Especially when there's traffic, Jesus. I got a full Android unit in my car. Nice. That's pretty cool. I had to replace my radio with it. Which would be a bit of a problem, actually, because it's the Audi concert radio, which is difficult. Um, I think I'll be around on a bike at Christmas, manfully permitting. Fair play. Nice. Yeah, ish, that's a good point. My radio is the Audi concert radio for the B8 and 8.5 A4 was the like rarest version of the radio. Most of them have a bunch of controls around the shifter, but I don't. I have traction control, which is a very important one. But I don't have that. I don't have a start button. The key is the start button. You push it in to start. Um, and yeah, the radio has all of the stuff. Oh, since you upgraded your car, um, I am not a good person to ask this because I have upgraded my car 3 times in 10 years. Um, and now that I have an actually good car, issues or crashes permitting, um, I won't be upgrading it anytime soon. Um, we actually had a Smart 42. I'm sure I've said before, which actually had the 1 liter turbo. It had 81 horsepower, and especially that robotized manual, it was terrifying. My current car's from 2006. Yeah, I mean, my first car was from 2006. My second car was 2007. Um, and if it was any better of a 2007 Volvo S40, especially if it was the V50 instead, probably with a 2 liter diesel, I would have been, you know, pretty, pretty happy with it for a bit longer. Um, but yeah, four new used tires today for £156. Probably the last shoes we'll get in his life. Nice. Uh, I got a 2011 smart car. Still a great car. Had the Mark III before that, for the Mark II. Ours is the Mark II. Yeah, 2009. Um, yeah, it was kind of horrifying to be in because you felt like it was going to fall over at the latest turn. Um, Fair play, Joe. um, is there any info regarding how many B580 cards? Is it B580? Yeah, we were seeing B850 earlier. B580 cards. Intel has actually sold at this launch. Wondering if it's what's considered paper launches in the past by AMD and Nvidia. Um, I have absolutely no clue how many they sold. To be clear, I think their sales volume is still going to be pretty small. I think the fact that this card looks like genuinely good value, even if it's kind of rough around the edges, still I think presents a decent value proposition, but also they have a lot fewer board partners on board, a lot fewer versions, etc. But it is also a value card, so it's a lot more likely. Like, there's a very good chance that they will sell more B580s than Nvidia has ever sold 4090s, as an example. Or very least 4080 Ti Super, whatever it's called. Because I feel like the majority of people who are buying, like, if you're willing to spend £1,000 on a 4080 Ti Super or whatever, you may as well spend 100 £200 more and get the 4090 instead. Um, so yeah, I don't know. You could with a Smart 4 2, you could open, because the rear boot is, the glass folds up and the boot folds down. You could open the rear boot from the driver's seat, like, it without difficulty. Like, you could fully, very small. Yeah, fun times. So be made by Apple. Man, it has that je ne sais quoi, isn't it? Um, I heard Intel are going, at least going down the budget route. I mean, they are. The B580 is, like, looks like a really good price for what you get. Um, yeah. I heard of Terrence Andrew Davis. Not that I know of, but I'm bad with names. Like, really bad with names. God damn it, yeah. I just want to slap people that say you can park 2 smart cars in 1 parking spot. No, you can't. I mean, that would imply that the gearbox worked as well. You're not the prophet? Oh, right. Yeah. There was, like, the slightest bell at the back of my head. But yeah. The Temple OS guy. Yeah. To be honest, prices of PC hardware kind of nuts. I agree. They went up and then kind of stayed up. Wow, like a lot of things, actually. Reflation, woo! Don't you just love corporations controlling your life? Isn't it wonderful? Please don't demonetize me, YouTube. Smart cars, Fiat 500s are the annoying cars that swing into the only free space in the car park, nearly shunt it because it's tucked away at the back of half the space. I know what you mean. A Fiat 500 is a much better car to drive than a smart car, and it's not that much bigger. I like the idea of the new Mini. Are they worth the Uber premium they seem to command? And yeah, the new Fiat 500 is horrible. As is the 600E and the XL and the X. They're just all horrible. You should not be named as such. Don't we all, Jim? When can we get you to read the entirety of An Industrial Society in Its Future? Oh God, I am not a strong reader. Funnily enough, I've worked out somewhat recently. I'm also a bit dyslexic. I mistake left and right and east and west permanently. not great at spelling. I can read, but reading out loud is very difficult. Um, yeah. Oh, it's the Unabomber guy. Right, nice. You got me. Basically, most small C cars are just trash and overpriced. Well, I mean, new cars in general are trash and overpriced, but I've driven a few Fiat 500s, and I do kind of like them as small runabouts. I've also driven and or been in like the Seat Me and the VW Up, and they're pretty decent as well. Um, God damn it, you can't be agreeing with the Unabomber in this chat. uh, love used ironically, I assume, Stanislav. Uh, use Chevrolet Spark. The old ones, if you want something that uses no fuel and is just for solo pop to the shop. Yeah, fair. Decent choice. Tom doesn't know he's got a Symphony. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I like Arch Linux out of the OSs. I know Windows Server 2025 is really great. I also like Windows Fox OS by Cat GamerOp, although I don't use it anywhere. Fair. Arch can customize how you like, but packages don't get updated in lockstep, and you might find your volume manager upgrades out of step with the kernel. Yeah, so the thing about Linux is that it's great. It is a great operating system. The fact that it's free, well, okay, Linux is an operating system, it's a kernel. Shut up. But Linux as a concept is amazing, but it's a gift and a curse because there is no one Linux, which is the like the benefit of Linux. It's also the drawback because it means that if you search how to do a thing, you have to include the distro and sometimes the version of the distro just to find any results that might work. I, I've got a sponsored video coming up about the with OVH Cloud actually. It's coming on 3rd of January, I think. And as part of that, I had to set up a couple of game servers on Linux machines, Ubuntu, whatever the latest LTS is, 20.0, 24.0.4 or something. And the thing about that is, it was a pain in the ass to set the game servers up. As an example, to install Steam CMD, which is the command line version of Steam, you need to either add the multiverse to your app repository, and then just apt install Steam CMD, or because that doesn't work, that doesn't install all of the files you need. You actually need to go to the Steam CMD website, copy the curl command, install lib 32 gcc-s1, and then curl the package and use tar to untarball it, and unpack it, and then you need to run /steam sh in the folder you've created, and then it will install it properly. Why doesn't the one from apt work? Uh, And that's why I use Windows. Yeah, that's the thing. Windows sucks. Microsoft controls it and they keep fucking ruining it. But also, it's one platform that just works most of the time until Microsoft comes and screws it again. Yeah. It's annoying. macOS has the exact same problem as Windows. It's just Apple cares a bit more about its like user experience. Not any better. Yeah. Anyway, I am going to go rest. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Like I said, no stream next week, but there will be one the following. So see you in the second. Yeah, have a wonderful Christmas. And have a happy New Year. Actually, I won't see you until New Year. Um, but yeah, catch you guys there.